So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. So, next video, right? The top 10 deadliest substances in the world you should never touch. Now, similar to this, I started automatically thinking, I'm like, deadly substances. And my mind, for some strange reason, automatically went to like chemicals. You know, if you live with a person that's like a clean freak and they like to go in the bathroom and mix, like, if you've never been in one of them situations where you've had to evacuate your home because somebody decided that they were just gonna go on this cleaning spree, and then they mixed a whole bunch of chemicals, and now you had to get out of the house and leave the windows open, fumigate it, all that type of stuff like that. I ain't trying to say Queen did that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I've even done it to a certain extent, but this is what this video made me think of. You know what I mean? You be in the bathroom, your eyes be burning, you be coughing. Yeah, you know you done mixed up some bad chemicals or too much or something. Why do we always do that though? Why? We feel like we gotta get it just clean, like so clean you can eat off of it, and we be in there trying to mix everything. We about to kill ourselves. But anyway, yeah, this video, top 10 deadliest substances in the world you should never touch. That's kind of scary to think that there's substances out there that you should never touch. You know what I mean? So it's good to be able to identify them. That's why most things that you see on like trucks and trailers are placard. You know what I mean? You got the placards on there so you know, okay, this is flammable, this is corrosive, this is harmful if you do this and this, that, and third. So paying attention to that type of stuff and the labels on the bottles is important. I know you feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but for some people you do need to say it. So we're gonna check this video out. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the fam. Real quick, moment of silence for the haters. That's enough. Now run the likes up. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's go.
You can look, but you can't touch. What is happening, most amazing family, and welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope it was fun and relaxing, and I hope it had nothing to do with any of these things I'm about to mention. I'm Taylor McWimmis, and here are the top 10 deadliest substances in the world you should never touch. Let's do it. Number 10, Mankini tree. If you came to this list looking for poison ivy stats, well, you've got another thing coming. The Mankini tree, upon first glance, looks pretty normal. In fact, it looks almost inviting and welcoming. The tropical tree grows a low-hanging fruit, and it can be found most commonly in the Caribbean, Central America, and South Florida. So if you live there, don't touch this tree. Sick. And for sure, don't eat the fruit. Also, if you're hungry, just wait till lunch.
See, where I'm from, they used to scare us to death with poison ivy, bro. Poison ivy this, poison ivy that. You know what I mean? I never had it, but I knew if some people had it, but I wasn't around them. I just heard about it, and they just blew that thing out of, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still nervous about poison ivy, and I guess I need to do my own research on it. That's what it boils down to, but they used to make it feel like you had you had that stuff. That's the only way I can put it. You had that stuff. You need to stay away from that person. Then you need to stay out of the woods. And telling a kid, a boy at that, to stay out of the woods, playing in the woods, was hard to do at that age. So yeah, we was gonna get poison ivy regardless.
In fact, don't touch this tree at all. Don't even breathe in the air around this tree. For real, it's that bad. The Mankini is referred to as the beach apple, or La Manzanilla de la Muerte, which translates to little apple of death. Yummy. The plant is riddled with toxins. Even if you put this apple in your mouth and spat it out, the inside of your mouth would still be blistered, and your throat as well. It's not comfortable. The tree contains this chemical called formol. It's so poisonous that if you were to stand under the tree while it was raining to avoid frizz, the water rolling off the tree would burn your skin on contact. So if you're a tree hugger, skip this one. Number 9, hogweed. No, Harry Potter does not smoke this. In fact, he doesn't even touch it, because he's a Gryffindor. We should all be more like the chosen one. Native to Europe and some parts of the US, hogweed, or giant hogweed, is, like its name hints, quite tall. They grow up to 14 feet sometimes, so they look pretty threatening before you get close. Its leaves can stretch out quite far with an umbrella pattern. It's a poison disc with purple and white hairs, basically. Now, its sap contains these toxic chemicals called photosensitizing purinocumarins. These chemicals, once—
Does that tree scream danger to y'all? How many of y'all like me when you be walking outside, you might be walking your dog or something, you walk past a tree and you just grab the leaves off of it and then just be throwing them, or you break a stick off? I'm that person. So why couldn't it be that the trees look dangerous to make you say, okay, I don't need to touch that? Why do these just look like innocent little, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. They look innocent. So yeah, it would definitely get me. Now I know to keep my hands to myself. Next time I go to grab some leaves off the trees, I won't do it.
It's on your skin and then in contact of sunlight start to burn and cause large blisters. So the sunlight will activate this burn, like you're a vampire all of a sudden. How weird is that? It's horrible. And on top of that, if the sap gets in your eyes, well, you may become blind. There's quite a few lookalikes to the toxic giant hogweed, but again, like I said, just avoid plants you don't know. If it's fuzzy, odds are it's not going to feel good later.
Did you see that person? I'm avoiding all plants now.
Always bring toilet paper. Number 8, snake toxin. And here's why I don't with snakes. Fun fact, did you guys know?
Nah, I think he need to say that again for the people in the back. Y'all listening? This is for the people in the back, because I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. This is why I don't mess with snakes.
8, snake toxin. And here's why I don't with snakes. Fun fact, did you guys know there's over 600 species of venomous snakes? So yeah, watch your step, I guess. Now, I'll admit the ratio isn't too bad. Less than 10% of all snakes can really hurt us. But that small percentage, well, it's enough to wipe out 100,000 people a year. So, still pretty bad. Vipers are commonly known, the eastern brown snake, just, horrible creatures. But what is it about their venom that does so much damage in the first place? Well, snake venom is extremely complicated. The way we test its toxicity is by using the LD50 test. And the lower the rating, the more dangerous the toxins are. Remember that for later. Alongside the eastern brown snake, the mainland tiger snake and the Russell viper come in pretty low on the ID50 test. Sure, the dangerous snakes often look the part, but take the boomslang, for example. It avoids confrontation, looks pretty similar to non-lethal snakes, but after one bite, you will eternally bleed until you're dead. From him. That little guy. Little licky tongue. That's it, you're dead.
And see, this is what be scaring me about going to vacations and like foreign places, man. This is where, because you always see like those advertisements on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, and they show you like these places right on the beach and these trees around them, and it looks so nice and warm. But you get there, you leave your door open, some snake comes in, bites you, and now look at you. Now you're in this type of predicament. You know what I mean? This is how my brain thinks. I'm like, nah, I really don't know the land like this, so I don't need to be playing around out here. Door stays closed, window stays closed. I'm doing the thoroughest check. Soon as I walk into place, I'm looking up under the bed, I'm looking in the closets, I'm looking up at everything, making sure it's sealed so nothing can crawl in there.
Number 7, cyanide. This one can harm you both in gas form and in powder form. How fun. Perhaps one of the more well-known poisons out there, cyanide, of course, can kill you in just minutes.
Yep.
Potassium cyanide can take your life in minutes if it's consumed, but it's confusing what cyanide really does to your body, especially when we weigh in James Bond villains. Like in Spectre, the movie Spectre, Javier Bardem's character pulls out these fake teeth to show that his mouth was burnt horribly after trying to swallow hydrogen cyanide. Great movie, also not really accurate. The reason you shouldn't consume or get near cyanide is that after consuming it, it starts to replace the O2 in your bloodstream, so really it's the most harmful to your brain and your heart. In Spectre, that wasn't cyanide, that was like acid. But we can pretend that it is. Avoid breathing it in, don't even look at it. In fact, don't even watch the movie Spectre. It's pretty long, I don't know, it's not my favorite of the bunch. Number 6, VX. This yellow, tasteless, and odorless liquid can kill you with just one touch. The nerve agent VX is, of course, extremely illegal. It came from ICIS's research from the early 50s when they were developing new insecticides. Well, it worked, but it worked a little too well. It was swiftly outlawed. But the bell cannot be unrung. This was the same nerve gas that was used to take out Kim Jong-nam back in 2017. He was attacked at an airport, 2 people rubbed a cloth on his face covered in VX, and he died on the way to the hospital. He had a horrible seizure because of this. Initially, officials thought that cyanide was used, but in reality, it was only 10 milligrams of VX.
Look at the warehouse, though. Look at the people walking down the aisle in the warehouse with that stuff just lined up like that. I'm not working. How much would it take for somebody? How much would somebody have to pay you to work there? I don't think it's enough money for me to work there. Bro, I've worked in some places where chemicals have gotten out and different things have happened. You have to dispatch your fire brigade, and then you have to alert the local fire department. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing they're going to come do is establish a perimeter. They're not going to just come in and go right in there to try to save you, because they got to protect themselves first before they save you. So your chances of survival, you know what I'm saying? It's no amount of money. It's no amount of money you could pay me to work in them places like that, man, because accidents do happen, things happen, spills happen, leaks happen, you know what I mean? All kind of things. So yeah, I don't play around.
Oily liquid. It looks evil. Like, it looks like bad goo. Number 5, Ricin. One of the biggest villains in the show Breaking Bad. Next to, of course, ricin is a chemical found in the seeds of castor oil plants. It looks alarmingly similar to table salt, and an extremely small amount of this can kill you. They also...
Yeah, I remember what he did with the ricin in Breaking Bad. He put it in the cigarette, and what was his name? Bryce? What was the kid's name? I'm trying to remember his name. But yeah, he messed that kid up, man.
Come from castor beans, but unlike toxic plants, you aren't going to run into any ricin in the wild. There's also more steps that need to be done before you accidentally poison yourself in mere minutes. Once consumed, ricin enters your cells, and then it prevents them from making the proteins that they need, subsequently dying. So your cells die fast. So depending on if you inhale it, ingest it, or inject it, the results may vary. And by results, I mean it depends how long it'll take before you meet your... Georgy Markov, for example, he got taken out by a ricin attack. It was in 1978. He was waiting for a bus, and a man in a black umbrella, well, rather an air gun disguised as an umbrella, shot his right thigh. And it wasn't until 3 days later that little sting contained trace amounts of ricin. Number 4, arsenic. The deadly poison that supposedly took out George III of England and Napoleon Bonaparte. What is arsenic, and why have we heard this name so many times before? It's incredibly...
And why do people still have access to it? That's my question.
Napoleon Bonaparte. What is arsenic, and why have we heard this name so many times before? It's incredibly toxic in its inorganic form, but arsenic is a natural component in the ground, so it causes contaminated water, air, anything really. It just goes out of the ground, which leads to arsenic poisoning. So most of the time you develop skin cancer because of it. That's its main attack, skin cancer. Horrible. Arsenic has an LD50 around 13 milligrams. The Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry has arsenic on its priority list of hazardous substances. It's a top dog. It's up there. Exposure to toxic metals is a common problem that we're facing still to this day. Number 3, poison oak. I remember in elementary school, there's a kid in my class who rubbed poison oak on his face because it was soft. Idiot. Don't do this. This is why we're doing a list on deadly substances. For people like Andrew. His face didn't react well. It blew up. It was this massive rash. Poor kid had to go home. Didn't have a good time. Poison ivy, we all know about. We're good there for the most part, but I have to mention poison oak because I think we should genuinely know this. Poison oak is so much worse. There's another one called poison sumac. Just poison, poison, poison. No. These plants produce a harmful oil called urishi oil, and the rash that follows after you make contact is called contact dermatitis. See, like ricin, it only takes a small amount to cause a huge rash. Poison ivy is known for its leaves. Each one has 3 tips. Leaves of 3, let it be.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Because when we were walking with, they'd be like, all right, you're looking for, and it has 3 tips on it, or however they used to say it back in the day as a kid, man. But people used to be able to, where I lived at, people used to be able to identify, like, no, fam, back up, that's poison ivy. I'd be like, how do y'all know? It looked like a regular leaf that's in a wood or a regular tree, or like, it just looked regular. And they'd be like, nah, fam, that's poison ivy. A lot of people be like, nah, that's poison ivy. And I faintly heard about poison oak, but I didn't hear about that as much as poison ivy. Poison ivy was something that was just dominating the talks around our town. You know what I mean? I never heard of too many poison oak cases.
Oh no, that one. Poison oak, same idea, but with fuzz on the underside and has a lighter top. Poison oak, what a joke. There, it rhymes. Now we'll all remember.
Yeah, I've definitely played with trees that look like that, so I'm surprised that I didn't get it. I'm surprised.
on the underside and has a lighter top. Poison oak, what a joke. There, it rhymes. Now we'll all remember. Deal, let's move on. Don't touch plants that have hair. Number 2, the kissing bug. Now I know it sounds friendly, maybe a little too friendly, but this bug is not a lover at all. The small kissy boy carries with it a plethora of diseases, one of which is called the Chagas disease. Also known as triatomine bugs, but kissing bugs sounds way better. These little guys are known to suck blood out of humans, like vampires. Why is everything kind of vampire-like on this list? We're pretty up to date with disease bugs like mosquitoes or ticks, but I wanted these guys on the list too because I've never heard of a kissing bug before. They're called...
Yeah, how about we name it something more deadly? Something more to make you be like, get away from that. Instead of, it's the kissing bug. Like, name it something that's gonna make you back up. Put your hands up, try to fight it.
That because they usually bite you near the mouth or the eyes, this area here. It carries the Trypanosoma cruzi parasite and it passes to you after the bug poops on your face. That's the main way of spreading the parasite. They bite you, then they fart in your eyes. How rude is that? They should call this one the stink bug because that stinks. Number 1, super acid. Yeah, super acid. Of course we're gonna finish off with super acid. Let's do it. We can't end it on a bug. Fluoroantimonic acid is that sci-fi acid that you see that melts through like a spaceship or anything like that. It's a real thing, and it's caused by mixing hydrogen fluoride and antimony pentafluoride. Hot combo. This acid can only be mixed with hydrofluoric acid because it's too strong to be mixed with water. It would just go gone. Nothing even there anymore. Super acid is 20 quintillion times stronger than sulfuric acid. This can not only dissolve your skin tissues and muscle, but it can dissolve glass. Glass. The reason we have acids this strong in the first place is that so chemists can break down molecules. Now, some of these molecules are tougher, so they resist common acids. Imagine being stronger than acid. Science is crazy. My brain hurts. Let's wrap this up. Guys, those were 10 substances you really don't want to touch. I threw in some animals.
Acid was just always scary, as it should be. You know what I mean? And then if you was taking like a class in high school and they talk about different things and acids and stuff like that, then when you watch Breaking Bad, how they were breaking down like the bodies and stuff like that in the movies using that stuff, and he was getting specific bins and different things to put them in before he did the little acid mixture. Like, yeah, I've always been leery of like, no, I'm not playing around. I don't want nothing that say acid close to me, in close proximity. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is just, once you get, it's over with. It is over. Listen. And then you want to be like, man, why is this stuff even around where we could access it? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think in my mind. Why? Why do we even produce this stuff? Why do we make this stuff? Why do we have access to this stuff? I get y'all want to break down molecules, but for every pro, there's probably a million cons. Nah, I'm good. Let me just chill and try to stay far away from it as possible, man. You know what I mean? And if you one of those like, you ever live around like one of those plants and stuff like that, man, that house like all kind of chemicals, and if something go wrong at a plant, they have to evacuate like the residents that live around that area. That's why I say it's crazy to live around like certain plants. You should know what's in close proximity where you live at, because if something go wrong and they forget to evacuate you, you wake up and then you end something. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, this stuff is crazy. It's deadly. Y'all be safe out there. So the top 10 deadliest substances in the world you should never touch. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Stick around and stay tuned, man. Until next reaction, I'm gone. Peace.